Hey there, watch lovers. Laz here with another watch review. As promised in our previous video, the Battle of the Turtles. And for those who participated in the previous video's giveaway, stay tuned to the end. We're going to be announcing the winner of one of those three watches. Yeah, stay tuned. I think there's going to be some pretty interesting content in this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here you have it. Before we get started on this, going to do a quick wrist check of what's on the wrist. We have the Orient Mako 2 Pepsi on the wrist right now. I'm not sure if you can make that out there. But yeah, a little bit of glare out here, but that's what's on the wrist. Got it on this, this rich watch band. Throughout my videos, you guys heard me talk a lot about this brand, and their rubber straps are really, really good straps. All right, with no further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into these. So first thing is first. We'll cover the... We'll go down the list of specs here. So we'll start off with the Seiko SRP773. So I actually did a review on this, and I kind of covered the story behind this watch and how this came about being a part of my collection and how I acquired this watch. So let's start here with the specs. This has the caliber 4R36, which many know as the NH36. The NH36 being the mass-produced for other watch company, that's the model number for that movement. When it's in a Seiko watch, I believe the movement is referenced to as the 4R36. Very similar to the NH35, the only difference is this has a date complication, so this movement is going to be slightly thicker, which we'll kind of get to that here in the thickness or the dimensions of this watch. I currently have this on a rich watch band as well. As you guys hear me talk about this brand a lot, I just really like what they do with their straps. Beautiful, beautiful watch, one of my favorite ones in my collection, probably the most expensive one that I own. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the case size. So this is a 44.3 millimeter case. You have a lug-to-lug 48 millimeters. The lug width is going to be 22 millimeters, so you got a 22 millimeter strap on this as well. The case thickness, this is a, I believe this is a 14 millimeter case. You do have drilled lugs here, which is going to make it easier for putting on and taking off your straps. So one of the things I do like about this is truly a diver's watch. This has an ISO, it meets the ISO certification of 6425 international standards for diving watches. So it's definitely a certified diver. You can most definitely take this bad boy diving. I don't do any of that, so it's not a big deal for me, but I do like to know that I have that peace of mind that I don't have to worry about when I go to the springs or if I'm in the pool, so on and so forth. For the crystal on this, you have a Harlex crystal, which is the Seiko's proprietary crystal. You have the bezel action on this. So traditional bezel action, it's not very tactile. It's kind of a mushy click, but a satisfying one nonetheless. This one's 120 click unidirectional bezel. You have an aluminum bezel insert, and then of course you have the Super Luminova from Seiko for the lume on this watch. What I wish I would have did with this was put a signed crown on there, but it's not a big deal breaker for me. I mean, I think overall this is still a nice watch, very nice finish, polish on the side, with a very nice uniform brushing along the top of that case. So yeah, that's that for this one. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the Steeldive. So these two watches are the same, just a different colorway. So I'm only going to cover, obviously, the specs of both of these watches because they're basically the same watch. Model number on this is going to be the SD1970, which obviously is paying homage to that Seiko Turtle from 1970 that featured in the movie Apocalypse Now. So this has the movement, the NH35, as you all know it. I kind of spoke about it on the previous video. Didn't really get too much in depth with it because everyone knows what the NH35 is and what the specs is for that watch. So here, see if I can get you a close up here so you can really enjoy the looks on this. You have a case size of 43.8 millimeters. You have a lug-to-lug 46.8 millimeters, so I do like that this is not a massive watch. It wears very, very nice on the wrist. Actually, You know, even if you have a small wrist, these are gonna fit the wrist very, very nicely. You don't really have to be concerned that, you know, when I first got into the Turtles, I thought they would be way too big, you know, with that 46 millimeter lug to lug. I was like, yikes. But no, this actually wears very, very nice on the wrist. Again, you have a nice polish here along the sides. You have a sign crown here by Steeldive with their iconic logo, which I spoke about in my previous video. Have that same logo here on the back, which I think is scuba diving gear. If anyone truly knows what that is, Steeldive, if you're watching, please give us a little bit of clarification in the comments below. Beautiful brush on the back of this case. Overall, this is a very nice watch. No drill lugs, which would have been nice to see, but again, I get it. This is a, I mean, this is a $120 watch. What more could we ask for, right? You got that coin edge bezel. Very, very nice watch overall. You know, the design of this case is very, very similar, and we'll get to the comparisons here in just a bit, but when you look at that, very, very similar to the Seiko. Bezel action is amazing. It's 120 click unidirectional bezel with no play whatsoever. I mean, just listen to those clicks. Yeah. All right. So let's cover here the dimensions. Again, you have a 43.8 millimeter case size. Sorry about the plane up above. You have a lug to lug of 46.8 millimeters. You have a lug width of 20 millimeters. Your case thickness on this is going to be 13 millimeters. And this is a little bit thinner than the Seiko. And the reason for that, again, is the difference in caliber. So this is an NH35 versus the NH36 that has a date complication, date complication, where this one only has the date complication. So that's going to take a little bit off of the heft of that watch. This one is not ISO certified, but according to Steeldive, it's a 200-meter water-resistant watch. You have the crystal on this is definitely one of the upsides to this watch. Let me give this a quick wipe down here. But the crystal on this is actually a sapphire crystal with a blue AR coating, as you can make out here. You have a ceramic bezel insert for the loom on this watch. This actually has C3BGW loom, I believe. I may be wrong on that, but it is on their website. For the loom on this is spectacular. You know, you can definitely count on this staying pretty bright for a good amount of time and having an initial extreme brightness to it. Beautiful, beautiful dial finish. These applied indexes or indices are amazing. You have a complete black chapter ring. Would have been nice to have seen a chapter ring like this in all black in this watch, but you know, we got to keep in mind this is really trying to stay true to that 1970 design, and it really does pay tribute to that watch. I do have this on the waffle strap that it came with. So this actually came with two straps. This came initially with a I believe it was this waffle strap, and it came with another strap. I can't remember which one was it though. But it definitely came with two straps though. Again, same thing here, that logo in the back. Very, very nice watch. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this one here. This is again the same watch, but a different colorway. Let me wipe down this crystal. All right, give you guys a close up here. So again, same watch, just a different colorway. You got that green dial, which is a spectacular green. I really love the way that green plays with the light and combines very, very nicely with the loom, having that aged look to it. You do have, once again, the same sapphire crystal with the blue AR coating. Would have been nice to have seen a green AR coating. That would have been a very nice touch on Steeldive's part. But yeah, you have the ceramic bezel insert green as well with the applied loom on that bezel insert. And then I'll also try to put up some loom shots here as well, so you guys can take a look at the loom in comparison here. Same thing, you have the sign crowned here with the logo. Same thing on the back. This is currently on a Barton strap, a Barton distressed leather looking strap. I gotta say, this is held up pretty nicely. This right here, this little tear you see here, this was completely my fault. Long story, I got it stuck on another watch, and trying to get it out, I ripped these ends here, but I can assure you these are really, really good straps. But yeah, there you have it, guys. That's a little bit of a close-up here. Let's jump right into the comparison. Let's talk a little bit about the comparisons between these two watches. I mean, just take a look at those cases. You know, when you take a look at the case, they're very, very, very similar in design. The dimensions are not too far apart. I mean, we're talking about an extreme similarity. The only difference that I find is that there's a slight more roundness to this case, a slightly smaller and thinner, which I kind of like that profile a little better on the wrist and how that looks. The applied indices are obviously going to be a little bit different here, and both of these watches are paying homage to that original 1970 Captain Willard from the movie. So just so you are aware of that you know, these, sorry about the focus here, both of these watches are paying homage to that original watch, including the Seiko. If you take a close look here at the Seiko, if I can get this to focus, there we go. If you take a close look here at the Seiko, I mean, everything in terms of the design is obviously screaming Captain Willard, with some minor differences on the indices. You can see that was done a little bit different. This one here on the Steeldive is gonna be a little more true to those original indices that were found on the Seiko Willard, on the Captain Willard. Here we go. I'm having a little bit of issues here focusing. There we go. All right. So yeah, if you take a look at those indices, you can see I mean, it just screams Captain Willard, minus that Steeldive logo in the center. And you got that beautiful seconds hand, just like you had on the Captain Willard with the red dot on it, kind of making that 200 meters pop that's right there in red. I mean, overall, this is really, really one of my favorite timepieces. I think this is definitely a highly recommended watch in my books. You know, as far as timekeeping goes, it's a fairly accurate watch. I think it's tuned pretty well. You know, I don't have any issues with it keeping accurate timing. Yeah, you know, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward with these Turtle watches from Steeldive. A lot of good stuff is coming out of Steeldive, and everyone who's into watches, that are into these entry-level watches, know what I'm talking about. They follow Steeldive. You know, a lot of people say that they come from the same factory as St. Martin, and I'm inclined to agree with that. Obviously, Sam Martin, you know, they obviously have a little bit better quality control than Steeldive, but they are also a little bit more money as well. Those are typically in the 200 plus range for their watches. Now, Steeldive does have some watches that are up there in the 250 to 260 range that I think is probably going to give Sam Martin a run for its money. But there's some watches that I'm not too fond of. You know, these real divers. I mean, these things are some extremely bulky watches. Kind of look like tanks in my opinion, but yeah. So yeah, there you have it, guys. There's that beautiful, I don't know if you want to call this a Hoke, Turtle, or whatever you want to call this, but that colorway, it's beautiful, looks very, very nice on this distressed leather. I'm a big, big fan of this green. This was the first Turtle that I had bought from Steeldive, and I've had it for about 2 months now. I'm very, very, very happy with this watch. Very nice overall. I've given this quite a bit of wrist time, and I gotta say, it's definitely, I highly recommend this watch. In fact, I believe, know a couple of people that picked these up that are pretty satisfied with their purchase. But yeah, there you have it, guys. I want to thank you guys for staying tuned to the end. I want to thank everyone who supported the channel. I promise you there's going to be more content coming, and as we put out more and more of these videos, the content will get better. I promise you I take all the comments into consideration and in making these videos better. So thank you so much for taking the time to really leave those comments on there. No comment is bad comment for me, to be honest with you. You know, obviously some are negative that just really shouldn't be in the comment below, but for those who take the time to put positive, constructive feedback in the comments, I want to thank you for that, because that obviously helps the channel gets better. And as a token of my appreciation is why we did this. This giveaway on the previous video. So as for the winner, Juan Ramirez. I want to thank you, man, for taking the time to watching the previous video to the end, and everyone else who participated. I promise you there's going to be more of these to come as we put out more content, and as we start to build some of these relationships with these micro brands. Hopefully, you know, we can get some sponsors onto the channel, and hopefully start putting out more content and more of these giveaways as a token of our appreciation to you guys who take the time out of your day to watch these videos. So Juan, if you want to reach out to me, man, send me an email, watchlife, that's W-A-C-T-H, life, L-I-F-E, 777 at gmail.com. Send me an email with your information so I can get this watch sent out to you and figure out which watch you want to choose out of the 3 watches from last week's giveaway. One of the watches I actually have here with me today, that is the Steeldive in green, the Turtle Steeldive in green. And I'm also going to try to throw in a few straps there for you. So definitely reach out to me on my email, watchlife777 at gmail.com, so we can get that watch out to you as soon as possible. And if you guys don't already follow me on Instagram, go to watchlife777 and shoot me a follow on Instagram, man, so we can you can see some of the content that's about to come out. I typically like to post when I'm working on a new video or new content on there. I'm always constantly posting pictures, and I'm probably gonna start something new, sharing others' posts. So if you guys want to be featured on that, just follow me and post your next picture of whatever's on your wrist today, or on the day of, and tag me watchlife777 and put repost, and I'll be reposting these watch of the day kind of thing. We'll start something with that. Again, if you guys haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment please, as it does help the video in the algorithms, and hit the bell icon so you're notified for these when these videos come out. Once again, thank you guys, until the next one.